It is such a delight to come your way one more time, and my name hasn't changed. It is still the amiable Inwagata Nosahai. Now, as a leader, your primary task is to get work done through people. The essence of leadership is ensuring that team goals, team objectives, team visions are accomplished through people. Your primary job as a leader is to get the job done through people. And a skill that make this a reality or make this a possibility is the emotional intelligence component of social skill. Social skill is the fifth pillar or fifth component of emotional intelligence, and it goes a long way to see that you are able to bring out the best out of your people. And in terms of defining social skill, the emotional intelligence component of social skills is your ability as a leader to manage relationships towards achieving desired outcomes. And these desired outcomes is oftentimes team goals, team objectives, and team visions. And it is very important as a leader, you see that you develop social skills, because it will give you that leading edge in being able to see that you have that you're able to achieve team goals and team objectives. This is very, very important. And you know, the templates, you know, the model we have been using since we started this emotional intelligence series is using case scenario to drive home, you know, these, points. And another case scenario is also here again today, which we are going to look at. And the case scenario is also how the emotional intelligence component of social skill, you know, comes to the front burner. And remember, the emotional intelligence component of social skill is all the other first four components or pillars of emotional intelligence coming into demonstration. Remember, self-awareness is the first pillar or component of emotional intelligence. Then you have self-regulation, you have empathy, you have motivation, and then social skills is all these other four components coming into physical demonstration. And in this case scenario, that is what we are going to be seeing. And the case scenario is how a real estate CEO used the emotional intelligence components of social skills to lead his team through economic downturn. How a real estate CEO used the emotional intelligence components of social skills to lead his team through economic downturn. Then I just go into the case scenario. The context: a mid-sized real estate firm in Nigeria specializing in luxury property sales and residential rentals hit a significant roadblock. Following a sharp spike in the pump price of petrol, the country experienced a ripple effect of high inflation. Potential buyers became hesitant, and existing tenants began struggling with rental increments, leading to a sharp decline in revenue for the real estate company. The challenge: the sales and leasing teams were demoralized. Internal friction was rising as the sales department blamed the marketing department for poor leads, and the property management team felt overwhelmed by disgruntled tenants. Then the CEO intervention, applying social skill. Instead of retreating to his boardroom to crunch numbers, the CEO utilized the social skill component of emotional intelligence to steer the ship, building a shared vision. The CEO conveyed an all-hands meeting. Rather than delivering a stern lecture on target, he acknowledged the economic reality. He used empathetic communication to validate the team's fears while articulating a pivot strategy. And what was the strategy? Shifting focus from high-end sales to flexible rental payment plans. Shifting focus from high-end sales to flexible rental payment plans. A conflict mediation that was done by the CEO. When the sales and marketing heads clashed over lead quality during meeting, the CEO didn't take sides. Instead, he de-escalated the tension by highlighting how the external economic environment was a common adversary. He facilitated a collaborative war room session where both teams designed a new client outreach script together. Strategic relationship management. Remember, the definition of the emotional intelligence component of social skills which is about being able to effectively manage conflicts, effectively manage people, I beg your pardon, to achieve desired outcome. And actually, management of conflict is part of that people or relationship management. Strategic relationship management. The CEO personally joined the property managers on visit to key corporate tenants. Very important. By modeling how to negotiate with empathy and firmness, he showed his team how to maintain relationships during a crisis, ensuring long-term retention over short-term gains. As a result, the team's blame culture shifted to a problem-solving culture. By the end of the quarter, while the market remained tough, the company's rental retention rate increased by 20%, and the team's morale remained intact. Now, what are some leadership lessons we can glean from this case scenario? There are 3 leadership lessons I've packaged for you from this case scenario. And the first leadership lesson is, number 1, empathy builds trust and stabilizes teams. Acknowledging the emotional and economic realities your team is facing helps reduce anxiety and defensiveness. When leaders communicate with empathy, they create psychological safety, which keeps morale intact and teams focus even during uncertainty. Remember that the emotional intelligence component of social skills is all the other components of emotional intelligence coming into demonstration. And that is actually what the CEO of this real estate company, puts in place or engaged to be able to see that he managed this issue that his company was facing. Empathy builds trust and stabilizes things. What is empathy? Empathy is you as a leader, sensing the concerns of the people. Empathy is you as a leader seeing things from the perspective of other people, or empathy is you as a team head or as an organizational head being sensitive to the views and perspective of every other department in that organization. So the number 1 leadership lesson from this case scenario is empathy builds trust and stabilizes teams. The second leadership lesson, unifying the team around a shared goal eliminates blame. By reframing the challenge as a collective problem rather than a departmental failure, leaders can shift the culture from blame to collaboration. A shared vision aligns efforts, encourages joint problem solving, and improves overall effectiveness. Very important. Then the third leadership lesson from this case scenario. Strong relationship management sustains results in tough times. Remember one more time the definition of the emotional intelligence component of social skills. It is your ability as a leader to manage relationship towards achieving desired outcome. And it manifested in this case scenario. The third leadership lesson, strong relationship management sustains results in tough times. Maintaining and nurturing relationships, both within the team and with clients, is critical during downturns. Leaders who model constructive conflict resolution and empathetic client engagement help preserve long-term value, even when short-term results are under pressure. And this is very critical, for you as a leader. You need to learn to make sure that you bring into your skill portfolio the emotional intelligence components of social skills. You need to take that capacity building responsibility. Capacity is the ability to solve problems. Capacity building is strengthening and enhancing the ability to solve problems. And social skills is one area of capacity building as a leader you need to take very, very seriously. What is social skills one more time? The emotional intelligence component of social skills. It is the ability to manage relationships with others, with people, in order for you to achieve desired outcome. And in doing this, you must bring self-awareness into the equation. You must bring self-regulation into the equation. You must bring empathy into the equation. Motivation must also be there. These are the other components of emotional intelligence that at the point of social skills, they all come into demonstration. I strongly believe that profound value have been added to you today. To send your questions and inquiries, my email is inuagata@gmail.com, INUAGHATA. Send those questions as you have been doing. Send inquiries. I provide answers to you, and then we're able to build better teams for ourselves, build better businesses, better organization, better nation, and even better world for us all. I'll be seeing you next week, Wednesday. When I return, I will still remain the amiable Inuagata no Sahai. Your day is so blessed. Thank you.